crossing them off slowly. Still got to go.
You're amazing, Leanne.
Right. I think we're on, folks. So who's shooting? Who wants some questions? Go for it. Tiffany, you happen to be there.
Oh, I don't know. I don't know. Can somebody else go first?
So, let me ask a question then of you. I take it you'd like us to discuss the major essay.
Yes. Yeah.
Which is due on the 9th of June, 60%.
Yes.
Okay. So how about I do a 5-minute sort of recap of the essay and then throw your questions in.
Great.
Reflect on your own emotional and spiritual journey as an educator. Now, I haven't finished marking the minor assignment, but I've marked enough to ascertain that you're probably finding it easier to reflect on your spiritual journey than you are reflecting on your spiritual journey as it impacts your teaching. Because that's what the key in that first sentence is there. Reflect on your emotional and spiritual journey as an educator. So obviously you talk about your emotional and spiritual journey, but the emphasis is on how it impacts your teaching. With reference to the materials presented in the subject and from anything outside, examine your character construct. So you have to do, if you're making noises off, you could press your mute button, whoever's making that funny noise. Examine the character. Somebody might have. Once I had somebody with a dog and they just couldn't stop barking, and they were in the north of Cairns, and everybody had this dog broadcast to them. It was wonderful. Examine your character construct. So you've got to do your personality profile and your traits, right? And the point is, this is forcing you, if you haven't already done it, to do that and try and do a bit of self-examination by yourself and see. Maybe it's an aeroplane taking off from Stowe Marine Airport. Stop it, Nancy. Stop it.
It's not me. My house is quiet.
Well, I don't know what's happening here, but there's airplanes or dogs or something. And your interpersonal communication skills. So you basically, in this sentence here, you've got to have examined yourself and have some raw data about yourself that you're able to reflect on. That's that word there. Then, in the light of all the above, reflecting on learning institutions and communities known to you. So, in other words, the context that you're imagining you're going to be teaching in. Consider the likely challenges, and I would underline that word, likely challenges that you're going to face as a teacher in your career. Now, that might be something to do with the context you anticipate teaching in, or it might mean more of a reflection of what you are as a person and you emotionally, and how that's going to impact and challenge you as a teacher. So it's a combination of both the environment and you, and therefore comes face to face with what are going to be the biggest challenges. Write them down, brainstorm. What are the biggest challenges do you imagine you're going to face as a teacher? Discuss their impact on other staff. In other words, are you going to be the light and soul of a staff room, or are you going to be not much of a participant in a staff room? Are you going to be somebody for whom the principal is actually going to be so delighted that you're there and miss you like crazy if you're not? How is your character and your personality going to relate with students, and how is your personality going to relate to parents? And suggest alternative management and coping strategies to diminish the impact on an educator's potential challenges. So here, seriously, somebody needs to press a mute button. I don't know, they need to have some dinner or something. It really sounds like water's going down the drain. I'm sure maybe they live in a treatment plant. Suggest effective management and coping strategies. So you have to draw up a plan for yourself, tailor-made for you, that, if you like, it's your safety plan. Whereas if you don't have a plan, anything might come and hit you, but this plan could mitigate the impact of stresses happening to you. I mean, it might be as simple as getting fitter. I mean, it might be going to the gym once a week. It might be getting a buddy and going and doing a jog with them. It might be joining the Toastmasters club in your area, so that you can get some better strategies for managing your voice, because your voice might be the biggest problem that you're going to face in the years as a teacher, and you want to know how to protect your voice from losing it. And I'm even at this age, and I've been teaching how many years, I'm not going to tell you, but in the first day of an intensive, if I've not been talking, my voice absolutely kills. And probably I'm talking too much, but you may need to have some voice training. I mean, that's just an example. So that would be a strategy for coping with a stressor that could potentially come your way. Although this is a reflective socio-psychological paper in the educational context, how about that? I never wrote that. Ensure to include appropriate references in the literature. So I would imagine, I'm not saying how many, but you're probably going to have 10, 12 references at the end of this. It is a big-ish paper, and you know, it's not all going to be about you and therefore first person singular. There is going to be reference to various psychological tests and personality profile tests and coping strategies that you've got from the reading that you've done. Anyway, that's my spiel. That's, I hope, given you a bit of a refresher on what this essay is about. You could, for example, and I don't see there's any harm, you could reference the interview you did for the minor, as long as you don't include the same paragraph or sentence as the minor, in which case that would be picked up as straight plagiarism. But that is a resource that got you really thinking about your emotional and spiritual journey. So there's one reference, your interview with the teacher or whoever it was. I'll try and shush and go for you. Go for your questions. Go.
I have one question.
Definitely.
Today I was actually doing some reading on coping strategies. Like some of the research on like coping strategies for teachers, kind of teachers at the beginning of their career, middle career, their career, the coping strategies and stresses might be different.
Speak up a bit.
Okay. I'm just wondering, because it says, consider the likely challenges faced by educators throughout their careers.
Yes.
Do we need to like look at beginning, middle, and end of careers, or can we just focus on the beginning?
Look, I'm not fussed.
Okay.
I've not come across anybody who's gone into it in that sort of depth. They've looked at it in terms of big picture and their makeup, their character traits. I mean, everybody's got, you know, good things which are ideally suited to you as a teacher, but we've all got issues. I mean, let's not be embarrassed about it. That's fine. This whole essay is about mitigating any problems that some of our weaknesses might throw up. So I wouldn't, I think that sentence there, the coping strategies, is an important part of this assignment and go to the subject outline and really press down on the oh, we don't have a imaging here, do we? The rubric. No, we don't. No, forget that. That comment didn't help you. Yeah, so Tiffany, I think it's a good thing to think about different stages in your career, but really I would focus on the now. Yeah, your first few years.
Oi.
Okay. I don't know. Anyway, so Tiffany, anything else from you, or somebody else want to leap in there?
So I'll ask a question.
Yeah.
Or was somebody else going to ask?
Nancy, go for it. Yeah, go for it.
Okay, so examining your own character, like there's particular tools, isn't there, to do that? Personality ones. Would you recommend anything there?
There is some reference in here on the Moodle page, but I'm really not fussed. Go for whatever you can find, and whatever suits you. I'm not fussed about that. No.
Okay. Anybody else can ask a question. I'll just have a look at something else.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know.
Go for it. Who was that? Was that Tulsi?
I'll ask another question.
Yeah.
So reflecting on learning institutions and communities known to you. Does that mean where we're learning right now?
I think that phrase is really just asking you to position this essay in a particular context. You know, if you've imagined yourself teaching in a state school, then in Sydney, then that's your likely context, your institutional context.
Okay.
But if you imagine yourself teaching in a mission school in Peru, that's going to be a bit different, and the challenge is going to be a bit different. I mean, I say that in all honesty because I had a teacher do that once.
Okay.
And that's where they were hoping to go.
Okay.
So it's just like we've already done with the philosophy. You can't talk about philosophy really unless you are clear in your head where you're going to apply that. I mean, can you mention Jesus or not? You know, is the bottom line. So I can only see you at the moment. Has everyone else? Oh, Corey.
Yes.
Come on, I haven't heard from you.
Okay. So where the consider likely challenges faced by educators. So am I specifically from what you said and am considering my challenges, like what I may face, you said,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
And then,
it's very personal.
And then from that, it says discuss their impact on other staff. So is that saying I'm going to discuss my challenges and how my challenges may affect other staff and parents and students?
Yeah, how those challenges will impact on your colleagues in the school, your students, and parents. It is incredibly stressful, this essay, because you don't hide a thing. You know, you have to look, and I'll say for some coaches that I've had in the past, it's been really difficult because they've been so not used to being as personal as this essay is asking them to be. But I don't really make any apology, because teaching is a very tough gig, and if you go into it wishing to close your eyes to challenges, then they're likely to hit you. And I wouldn't feel I'd done the right thing by my students if I hadn't pointed out or got them to look at their own challenges. This is work-related stress, the blind men and the elephant. It's stressful, and it's getting even more stressful. I'll give you another. I'm so mad about this. What time is it? Yeah, I'm so mad about this. I happened to be listening to some radio last night, and there was a discussion was on about whether or not. It was basically focusing on aged care, and how the aged care workers were so thrilled they were allowed to hold their patients when they were distressed and comfort them physically. And this person said, well, of course, in schools, we're not allowed to do that anymore, because the rules now say you can't touch kids. And I'm thinking, blow me, what on earth has society come to? I know you're not supposed to, but why would you say that on public radio? Even if it's true, I wouldn't say it, because that's giving credit to these daft rules, which are purely social engineering. Just get on and be yourself. And I'm sure in every single school you go to, I'd bet you anything in the world, if I was betting, that the caring teachers still care for kids. And I don't care what the so-called rules say. So gets me so mad that we're not puppets underneath a dictatorship yet, and not in my lifetime, thank you. And don't you let it happen either.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
You've got to. There's a war on.
It's true.
So, Corey, are you right there?
Yeah, I think that was the main questions.
Okay. Leanne, quiet Leanne, go for it. Anything?
I'm pretty good.
Good. I think it's a beautiful essay. It's a hugely personal one, and it's one that you'll treasure, actually. I think it'll be one of the highlights of your masters. I really do. Tulsi?
Hello, Dr. Jim, firstly. Sorry, my voice is really heavy today. I have bad flu and cold.
Oh, I'm sorry.
That was me.
And well, I do have a question.
Yeah.
As you said, we have to include 9 to 10 references. And so my question is, do we have to relate our journey as an educator with some education personnel, like some education, it's like Piaget, like do we have to relate some of our experiences with them?
I don't think so much. This is more about your journey as a trainee, soon-to-be teacher. And certainly for those of you who've been all of you, on placement, you will have picked up some very real experiences in learning institutions and communities known to you, won't you? And if you like, go to those observational journals and refresh your memory if you need to. But there'll be certain things I had no idea that the teachers could be so until I went to school. And how do you react to that? Actually, I'll tell you one little story about this relating to parents. There's one student whose mentor currently this semester was having a real difficulty scoring her on her ability to relate to parents because he'd never actually seen her relate to
Yes.
parents. And so he was proposing to set up a hypothetical sort of scenario game where she would pretend. And I'm thinking, oh, he's taking it to a bit extremes, but at least he's thinking through how a teacher, trainee teacher, would actually relate to the parents in maybe a stressful situation where the parents are upset, and how would you cope with that?
Okay.
So, you know, the resources aren't so much Piaget and all that stuff. It's more the experiences you've had so far in getting your head around teaching.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, thank you.
Okay. Are we done then? Anything else about anything else? Oh, while I've got your undivided attention, we better be talking about those of you who are not finishing yet, about subjects for next semester. Now, this month of June, if you don't chase me up, I'll be chasing you up to sort out most appropriate subjects.
Yes.
And I know at the moment I'm not really pushing you in the week up to the 9th because I know it's a crazy, crazy week. But certainly after the 9th I will.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? All right then. Is that a goodbye from me and a goodbye from you?
Okay, bye.
Bye-bye.
Thanks, Jim.
No
Thank you,
worries. Bye-bye. All the best.
Thank
too.
you.
Now, how do I end this?